This is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping our news today at noon, guns will be the focus at a Sarasota City Commission meeting today. City Manager Tom Barwin asked the commission to approve a resolution asking state and federal lawmakers to ban military-grade, high-capacity assault weapons from being used by the public. If approved, Sarasota would be the first city in Southwest Florida to demand the nationwide ban. Barwin says his actions were provoked by the loss of Sarasota's own Eddie Sotomayor and last week's shooting massacre in Orlando. The commission meeting will begin at 2:30. The first human trafficking conviction in Sarasota County is causing some local organizations to consider its impact on other victims in similar situations. Last November, 22-year-old Ronald McBride III began coaching and grooming the victim on how to trade her body for drugs and money. The relationship grew violent, and the victim eventually came to police. McBride was found guilty of 6 felonies, one of which was human trafficking. The president and CEO of the nonprofit Selah Freedom hopes this case will encourage other victims to come forward.
They're able to actually testify now where they never would have. And I think it is a landmark case in positioning us as a leader in this movement, because this girl knows she did it because she had the safety of being protected, so she could use her voice.
McBride is expected to be sentenced in September. He faces up to life in prison. A committal service will be held this afternoon in honor of a Suncoast soldier killed during an exercise in Texas earlier this month. Army Private First Class Zachary Fuller will be laid to rest with military honors at Sarasota National Cemetery this afternoon. Fuller was one of 9 soldiers killed at Fort Hood when the vehicle they were in overturned in floodwaters. 23-year-old moved to Palmetto a few years ago to receive his associate's degree from State College of Florida. He was awarded a National Defense Service Medal and Army Service Ribbon.
We're all saddened. It's a friend, co-worker, and part of the community, and he'll be truly missed.
He shared with me all the time that the Army was his dream. He always wanted to go in, and so he passed doing what he wanted to do in his life, and not many of us do that.
Fuller is survived by his mother and father, his sister, and a grateful nation. Meanwhile, 13 families from 8 states are coming together on the Suncoast to send their loved ones to a unique resting place. They're creating an eternal wreath for their deceased family members. The 4-day process includes mixing the ashes with environmental concrete, placing them in a concrete ball, and then sending it down into the water as a natural reef. The families released those reef balls into the water this morning. Jason Hall traveled from Indiana to create an eternal reef memorial for his mother. She thought of the idea before she passed away.
In her death, she's going to sprout new life, and I think that that's an amazing thing. She loved the ocean, and she would like nothing better than to be in it every day.
The reef balls were released at the Silvertooth Reef, which is just off Siesta Key in the Gulf of Mexico. A local cemetery is getting cleaned up today thanks to a community effort which is underway in Sarasota County. Sarasota resident Kevin Engel posted about the overgrown Sarasota Memorial Park on Facebook. He says the grass was so high it was covering the headstones of those who were buried there. He says he reached out to the park's owner, who told him he was out of the country and did not have a lawn crew. So Engel decided he would take care of the lawn himself.
We made everybody aware and nothing was being done. We saw that there was veterans plots out here, there's children buried out here, and so we just thought it was disrespectful, and so we wanted to help out and help the community.
After seeing Engel's post on Facebook, several other people from both Manatee and Sarasota County joined in the effort to clean up that memorial park as well today. What a great effort, great thing he's doing there. Sure, everyone who has loved ones buried there will certainly appreciate what he's doing.
Indeed, yes, absolutely.
And some drier, cooler air, I guess. A little bit cooler this morning. It sure felt nice.
It felt great, yeah. I mean, we're in the low to mid 70s as opposed to the low 80s, mid 80s. So,
which was all last week. Yeah.
I'll take that for sure, absolutely. And tomorrow morning, I think it'll be even cooler as we continue to filter down that dry air.
Bring it down.
Kind of nice, little breezy as well. So you put all that together, it feels pretty good for this time of year, for the first day of summer, right? We have some pretty nice weather out there to start the day off. As Scott was just alluding to, it was beautiful sunrise. We had no chance of rainfall today. There was no fog around. The air's too dry for that. We had a little bit of passing cloud from time to time, but I tell you, on balance, we're going to have a beautiful afternoon with lots of sunshine around. No rain in the forecast for today. In fact, the next several days are going to be uncharacteristically summer-like. We're not going to see any kind of afternoon showers whatsoever. And we have a daytime high temperature that'll still top out warm. I mean, the sun angle, well, it's the summer solstice. It's as high as it's going to get. So the daytime high temperature is going to be warm, obviously, 90 degrees or so, maybe a little lower. But the humidity being less will make it feel a bit more comfortable, I do believe. Over the next several days, we stay with that little bit lower humidity. Tomorrow morning should be delightful. Sunsets this evening should be great. Then as we head into the week ahead, well, maybe some changes coming up. We'll talk about that in just a minute, Scott.
All right, John, thank you. A series of workshops will be held this week to help homeowners understand the changes being made to flood maps and insurance requirements in Sarasota County. 28,000 properties will be added to the high-risk flood zone in November, half of which are in Northport. If there's a home or building located on property, the owner could be required to buy flood insurance if they don't already have it. The changes come as FEMA works to update its flood maps. Tonight's workshop happens this afternoon from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Venice Community Center. There will also be workshops later this week in Englewood, Northport, Sarasota, and in Nokomis. In Manatee County, contamination is the latest concern over a new housing development plan for a former golf course. The Bradenton Herald reporting a Florida Environmental Protection report shows the former owner of the Palmview Golf Course in Palmetto improperly stored chemicals on that property. That includes 800 bags of fertilizer, 22 gallons of herbicides, as well as other mislabeled and improperly contained materials. Nearby residents are now asking the county or DEP to ensure that soil testing is done before any development continues there. And some relief is on the way for drivers heading out to St. Armand Circle and Lido Beach over the next couple of weeks. State transportation officials temporarily stopping construction on the Coon Key Bridge. Both westbound lanes will be open to traffic through the 4th of July holiday. This will be especially helpful during the offshore powerboat race that holiday weekend. Work will resume on July 5th, and the project is expected to be completed by mid-August. Rabonia's Community Center is now once again open. A ribbon-cutting ceremony was held this morning for the center's summer program. The drop-in program will serve school-aged children who live in Rabonia. It will run through the end of July. This is the first time the center has opened since 2013 when it was closed due to financial issues. Let's get over to the kitchen now, check in for the first time with Culinary Director Judy Gallagher and see what she has cooking for us. I already smell something in the oven, Judy.
That's true. I have tomatoes roasting in the oven straight from Yoder's Produce Market. Some yellow and red. The yellow is going to cut down in the acid, but we're going to make a roasted tomato vinaigrette. I have a beautiful piece of tenderloin. Now I want to encourage people, this is a great recipe. If you have leftover steak, you've gone out to a restaurant, or leftover roast, you can use that cold. But I bought the whole tenderloin at Fresh Market last week. The whole tenderloin for about 10 pounds worth only cost me $71. So what I did was I cut this tail end off. Now this is about a good 4 pounds. I've already seasoned it with salt and pepper and fresh thyme, and I'm going to put it in the pan and get started right away. So by the end of the show, we will be on real time. We're going to brown it on all sides. Great if you have an outdoor grill, if you can do this on the grill. But stay with me throughout the hour. We're coming back with a beautiful spinach and roasted tomato salad with beef tenderloin.
Stand out in your new wild Lexus. Lease a new 2016 Lexus ES 350 for only $329, or enjoy 0.9% APR, just $329, exclusively at Wild Lexus of Sarasota on Clark Road.
Hurricane season is here, and Suncoast weather can go from this to this in seconds. So when severe weather threatens, count on the official Suncoast Storm Team at ABC7.
We're armed with the most advanced weather technology so that we can bring you storm warnings faster and with more detail than ever before.
Plus, we focus on the Suncoast and track storms right down to your neighborhood.
On air, online, and on your mobile device. Turn to the official Suncoast Storm Team at ABC7. We're here for you.
At ABC7, our entire weathercast is dedicated to the Suncoast, and now we bring it to you like never before. with the all-new official Suncoast forecast. Beach and boating forecast. The winds will be out of the northwest at 10 knots.
Now, with the most advanced graphics and technology, we bring you weather where you live, pinpointing right down to your neighborhood. Zooming into the Sarasota Bayfront,
The all-new official Suncoast forecast, only on ABC 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you. ABC 7's Pump Patrol, a list of the Suncoast's cheapest gas on mysuncoast.com.
They care. They take the time to understand you, take the time to understand your case.
There's no better satisfaction to me than to see a client who is happy because of the job we've done for them.
It's really actually very comforting to know that there's someone that you've heard of and you're getting recommendations about that you can turn to when you have a problem.
I felt like I had a partner in this, and he was going to be by my side.
I'm Dale Mast, and we're celebrating 40 years on the west coast of Florida.
It's our 40th anniversary, and it's time for a celebration, the Culligan Hydration Celebration. For a limited time, celebrate by taking $250 off any Culligan home system. That's $250 off Culligan water softener systems, drinking water systems, or whole house water filters. Help us celebrate our 40th anniversary, and remember,
for better water, pure and simple, call today and say, "Hey, Culligan man."
Stand out in your new wild Lexus. Lease the bold new 2016 Lexus RX 350 for only $419, or enjoy 1.9% APR, just $419. Exclusively at Wild Lexus of Sarasota on Clark Road.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC 7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
What a beautiful start to the day. I mean, just absolutely glorious with relative humidity in the 60s, upper 60s. I mean, you can't beat that. 82 degrees now, the air temperature. We started off the morning in the 70s, the lower 70s. We had a mostly sunny start to the day, a few passing clouds. And some of the clouds did have a patch or two of drizzle in them. But we are looking at a mostly clear, beautiful afternoon, a lot of sunshine. The evening will be splendid. And then tomorrow, the beat just goes on with an absolutely beautiful day. Northeast wind at about 12, a little bit breezy out there. From time to time, clouds passing by, but on balance, it's going to be a lovely afternoon. 82 in Wauchula, 83 in Arcadia, 82 Myakka Parish, Bradenton, Lakewood Ranch, 83 in Venice, Inglewood, Northport, Punta Gorda, and 81 degrees out on the Key at Longboat. So across the United States, we have a couple of areas of disturbed weather. One around the Louisiana Delta stretching back toward the Texas coastline. Another down to the south in the area of the Florida Straits. Both of those kind of associated with a trough of low pressure, one moving through the Florida Straits, and then the other trough of low pressure is in the form of a tropical storm. And that is by way of the one moving into Mexico, the flow of air, the warm, moist, humid flow of air coming in off Gulf water, supporting some showers down around the Delta region. In the Northeast, there could be a potential for some severe weather there with a frontal boundary and some areas of developing rain showers from the western Great Lakes, or the eastern Great Lakes rather, all the way through the Ohio Valley and then stretching back into the plains. But for us, we have a strong flow of air off of the East Coast, picking up a little bit of moisture from the Atlantic, kind of slinging it back. Very little chance of any of those showers having made it all the way across. A few of them produced a little bit of sprinkles, but no real, rainfall, no real appreciable rainfall or showers to speak of. Down to the south, yeah, you got some thunderstorms even down in the Florida Straits, and that will be the case throughout the day. Best chance of rain will be in the southern tip where there still is a little bit more moisture. But for us locally, as you see, just a few patchy areas of drizzle left, and really, by the end of this broadcast, those will probably be gone. And we'll be looking at mostly sunny conditions for the rest of the afternoon. A few thunderstorms possible in the area shaded in yellow here. If you're traveling to Cleveland or Indianapolis, there could be some airport delays because of weather a little bit later on. Locally, I doubt we see any thunderstorm activity for probably the next 4 or 5 days. Maybe in the southern tip of the state, that's about it. The tropics look pretty good for us right now. The near Atlantic is very quiet. The Caribbean, pretty quiet. The eastern part of the Gulf of Mexico, pretty quiet. You can see the trace out of that frontal boundary right down through the Florida Straits right there. We'll watch that for any possible development, but so far so good. Now, there is another tropical storm. It's moving into Texas. By tonight, it'll be over Texas and in the process of dissipating, but it is going to drop a lot of rain over some of those mountainous regions in Mexico, and there could be, in fact, potentially some fairly serious flash flooding. 45-mile-an-hour winds at worst. West wind motion at about 7, but it is a rainmaker more than anything else. It's not really a big windstorm. And as I mentioned, as it moves into those mountains in Mexico, there will be some flash flooding. That'll probably be gone by about this time tomorrow in terms of a named tropical storm, but there will still be ongoing rain showers. High pressure remains the dominant weather feature for us. Winds directed out of the east or northeast, drawing down dry air, providing us with lower relative humidity. A breezy wind this afternoon, but no rain. A few sprinkles for the next half hour, 45 minutes, and then that's it. A little bit of the residual cloud cover, then that's it. Tonight, beautiful sunset, I should think. And then tomorrow morning, probably even just a little bit cooler, actually, as that drier air has had a chance to really settle in. Northeast wind at about 10 to 15 this afternoon, giving you a moderate chop. And the forecast calls for several beautiful days. And then as we head into week's end, about a 20% chance of showers. Scott?
John, thank you. Congressman Vern Buchanan continues to fight for federal funding against the Zika virus. Buchanan says he wants the funding bill passed before Congress adjourns for a 10-day recess on Friday. A joint House-Senate committee has been working on compromise legislation to resolve the funding discrepancy between the two chambers, the Senate proposing much more than the House. Buchanan says public safety is one of the primary responsibilities of the government, and Congress will ignore it if they do not reach an agreement by Friday. There are 195 reported cases of the Zika virus in Florida, which is known to cause birth defects in babies. For the first time, there are now guidelines for rehabilitation after suffering a stroke. ABC 7's Alex Redmond has more on how it's making a difference for stroke patients.
Right foot by me. Bring it over here.
He stands 6 feet tall, and Rick Martin is relearning
I had a stroke.
to walk.
Doctor told me when I woke up.
His wife Lynn there the whole time.
He just laid there. He couldn't, you could tell he couldn't communicate. He was very emotional.
Unable to walk or even sit on the side of the bed without collapsing, says Lynn Martin.
I couldn't pick him up, move him, so he needed to progress before we could go home. And we didn't want to just ship him to a nursing home yet.
At the beginning of his journey, he wasn't able to stand up. He was scared. He wasn't able to do any physical activities. He was dependent with absolutely everything, simple stuff like getting in and out of bed, rolling in bed. He couldn't do it.
Previous guidelines focused on medical issues involved in the initial management of stroke.
For patients that are not going to come to inpatient rehab, there is a great risk of falls.
Now, the American Stroke Association strongly recommends, whenever possible, that stroke patients be treated at an inpatient rehabilitation facility rather than a skilled nursing facility.
This is 1 week after the stroke. Patient unable to walk by herself.
A short time later.
Walking 15 minutes after the treatment, the same day.
Polivchek says that there's a difference in the outcomes because there's a team of clinicians that specialize in stroke, and therefore people are able to go home much faster.
Yeah, it starts out slow at first, but then it just picks right up before you know it. It's working.
Rick Martin is getting stronger, but had he not had inpatient rehabilitation,
I think he'd still be sitting there in his wheelchair doing nothing, is what I really think. This has helped him so much.
One thing's for sure.
Yeah, she's stuck with me.
Reporting in Sarasota, Alex Redmond, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Alex, thank you. It's considered a relatively minor gastrointestinal complaint, but if you've ever experienced heartburn, you know how uncomfortable it can be. Heartburn is the result of stomach acid sneaking up into the esophagus, also known as acid reflux. Foods can trigger heartburn because they can affect the sphincter that normally keeps the stomach acid out of the throat. While it's usually a minor symptom, if left untreated, it can become chronic and lead to more complications. It usually goes away within a couple of hours, but if it does become frequent, it's recommended you see a doctor. A new study is giving a more detailed glimpse into how many children suffer from concussions due to sports. In a study of hospitals, doctors' offices, and schools, researchers say 2 million concussions occur in children each year from sports or play, and many go without treatment. However, they say the numbers are imprecise and highlight the need for a concussion surveillance system, as recommended by the Institute of Medicine. The CDC plans to create a system to track concussion rates and trends in children and in adults. Still to come in your Suncoast News, a championship that the city of Cleveland has been waiting more than half a century to celebrate. We'll have the reaction from Cavaliers beating the Golden State Warriors last night to win the NBA championship.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7.
Every school year, 21,000 plus children are receiving the free and reduced meals through the school programs. When summer comes, those meals end and hunger begins.
Keeping Suncoast kids fed in the summer, what local groups are doing to combat hunger. I'm Haley Wilkes. That story plus our roundtable discussion.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you. ABC 7's Pump Patrol, a list of the Suncoast's cheapest gas on mysuncoast.com.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
Batteries Plus bulbs keep stacks of batteries for cars, cell phones, watches, plus light bulbs for lamps, can lights, and appliances right on hand. Did I mention we also repair smartphones? Batteries Plus bulbs. Trust the plus. Visit Batteries Plus bulbs today.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford because Sarasota Ford guarantees you our lowest price on every new Ford every day. Save on America's best-selling truck, 39 years running, the Ford F-150, Fusions, Escapes, over 800 vehicles on-site or online, all on sale. Buy with 0% for 60 months. And now, get up to 2,000 trade assistance. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
We've been slow smoking over oak for more than 45 years. And while sticking to tried and true traditions is kind of our thing, it doesn't hurt to throw something new in the smoker every now and then. Come get some slow smoked chicken wings at Sonny's Barbecue. Order them as an appetizer or as part of a combo with pork, baby back ribs, or both, starting at $10.99. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmasters since '68.
The celebrations extend into a new day for the city of Cleveland after hometown hero LeBron James and the Cavaliers bring home the city's first sports championship in more than 50 years. The Cavs knocking off the reigning NBA champs in a dramatic Game 7 in what's being called one of the biggest comebacks of all time.
Cleveland's long sports nightmare has ended.
Game 7, historic and emotional as the Cavaliers win their first ever NBA championship.
Emotions for LeBron James.
MVP LeBron James collapsing on the floor in tears.
I pour my heart, my blood, my sweat, my tears to this game, and against all odds.
It's the first major sports championship for the city of Cleveland in more than 50 years. Fans on the edge of their seat, including the first family who waited for the game to end before boarding Marine One in Yosemite. Steph Curry leads the Warriors to a first-half 7-point lead. By the second half, it's neck and neck. With just 1 minute to go, the score is tied. Then with 53 seconds left, point guard Kyrie Irving's three-pointer puts Cleveland ahead and seals the fate of Golden State.
Man, I thought I had a good chance. I really did, because it could have gone either way, but I'm glad it went in our favor.
The victory full circle for LeBron, whose jerseys were infamously burned when he left for Miami, now back with Cleveland and bringing the ultimate prize.
Wish that would have been us, but at the end of the day, you congratulate them for accomplishing what they set out to do.
Only 2 teams ever forced a Game 7. I can say I sit at some place that no one has ever been, and my teammates as well. This is it's truly amazing.
The Cavs partied last night in Las Vegas to celebrate, and a victory parade for the champion Cavaliers is set for Wednesday in Cleveland. That should be fun. Let's get back to the kitchen now and see how lunch is coming along with culinary director Judy Gallagher. Judy?
We're doing great. So the tenderloin, we seared it off. We had that thyme, a little oil, heavy in the salt and pepper. It's in the oven at 450 degrees, roasting. We'll pull it out soon, and we're going to cover it with aluminum foil for 20 minutes to rest. So let's get to the vinaigrette, shall we? Let me grab my tongs. I've roasted off those tomatoes I talked about. I just cut them in half and put some olive oil, salt and pepper, and thyme. So that's going to go in here, and I'm going to get back to how we're going to make the dressing in just a little while. But now we want to blister tomatoes. The greatest thing about heating up tomatoes is that it brings out more health benefits. So we want to have that, don't we? Plus it brings out great flavor. So here are the grape tomatoes, some more of that big sea salt, get those big pieces in there. And then we're going to take, like we did before, some thyme. Now, also in my refrigerator, I had a few mushrooms left over from the other half of tenderloin that I worked on. So let's go ahead and put them right on the pan, okay, and give them a little salt and pepper love. So get that all mixed in. And just that little bit of thyme is going to be a really nice flavor for it. So what we're going to do is, since we're adding artichoke hearts, marinated artichoke hearts to the dressing, we're going to take some of the oil that we would normally pull off and drizzle on. This is going in the oven. When I come back, we're going to finish up the roasted tomato dressing and really enjoy this salad.
My dad is my hero, and I wanted to give him a chance to live life and be happy. Granny Nannies has been a huge help. It has contributed to the health and happiness of my dad, for sure.
A helping hand and a gentle heart.
On your TV, on your computer, on your camera, on your smartphone, on your Apple Watch. And now you can get ABC7, your Suncoast News on Fire TV. Just go to mysuncoast.com and click on the mobile tab for a list of fast and free downloads that deliver ABC7, your Suncoast News on the go.
On the Suncoast.
And across America, the news you care about
is on your Suncoast News at 5.
And ABC World News Tonight at 6:30.
People you trust. Scott Dennis, Haley Wilkes, David Muir.
First, the Suncoast.
And then the world.
So many possibilities worth exploring. Minnesota Flooring.
Looking for carpet? Look no further. Minnesota Flooring has Smart Strand carpet as low as $1.79 per square foot. Installed, no add-ons or extras. Unbelievable? Minnesota Flooring can have in-stock carpet installed in your home in 48 hours for as low as $1.99 per square foot. Don't miss these prices. Visit Minnesota Flooring today.
Discover the biggest savings of the year on some of America's favorite vehicles during the Drive and Discover event going on now at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Get four-wheeler magazines 4x4 of the decade, a new Jeep Wrangler as low as $25,999, or drive away in a new Jeep Cherokee for just $19,999. Get a new 2016 Jeep Patriot for just $14,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
Hey, I'm really glad that you're taking a few moments to check out this video about the ministry of First Sarasota, Downtown Baptist Church. I'm William Hill, lead pastor here at First Sarasota. For the last 15 years, it's been my privilege to share in the life of this faith community, a community that centers itself around faith, friends, and family. Indeed, it is a ministry that's been in existence right here in this wonderful city for over a century.
Granny Nannies. We've been making house calls for over 25 years. When you need home health care services, there really is no place like home.
Grandma! A helping hand and a gentle heart.
Live From our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. Republicans and Democrats are set up for a showdown on gun control today. Competing bills will be up for votes in the Senate, but will anything actually get done? ABC 7's Bobeth Yates has more.
Donald Trump wants you to know he never meant that patrons at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando should have had guns, tweeting today, "When I said that if, within the Orlando club, you had some people with guns, I was obviously talking about additional guards or employees." This is what Trump said on the campaign trail.
If some of those wonderful people had guns strapped right here, right to their waist or right to their ankle, and one of the people in that room happened to have it, and goes boom, boom. You know what? That would have been a beautiful, beautiful sight, folks.
Trump's rival for the presidency, Hillary Clinton, immediately called that a bad idea.
So not one of Donald Trump's reckless ideas would have saved a single life in Orlando.
The NRA was more circumspect.
Of course, no one thinks that people should go into a nightclub drinking and carrying firearms. That defies common sense.
Today, Congress is poised to vote on competing gun control legislation after outrage that the shooter in Orlando was able to legally buy those weapons despite being watched by the FBI. But no legislation is expected to pass today, with Republicans and Democrats split on how best to respond. Democrats supporting legislation dubbed No Fly, No Buy. That would stop anyone on the no-fly list from buying a gun. Republicans are advocating a 3-day wait period instead. Bobeth Yates, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Bobeth, thank you. The Supreme Court also deciding not to take up the assault weapons ban out of Connecticut, leaving in place gun control legislation passed in the wake of the Sandy Hook Elementary shooting. Meanwhile, the judge will hear arguments today over a lawsuit against the manufacturer of the rifle used in the Sandy Hook shooting. Families of the victims killed in the shooting are suing Remington Arms. They claim the company knew the rifle was meant for the military and was too dangerous to sell to civilians. Remington previously requested the lawsuit be dismissed, but that request was rejected in April. A vigil will be held today to honor the life of a 2-year-old boy killed by an alligator at a Disney World resort last week. The service for Lane Graves will be held this afternoon in Omaha, Nebraska. The funeral will be held tomorrow morning. Graves was killed last Tuesday night after an alligator grabbed him and dragged him underwater along a beach at the Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. His body was recovered the next day. An autopsy showed he died from drowning. In California, firefighters continue to battle a wildfire that's spreading in Santa Barbara County. The Sherpa Fire, as it's called, has now charred nearly 7,900 acres since last Wednesday. Firefighters say they have it half contained now. They hope to have it fully contained by this Thursday. Mandatory evacuations are in place for several areas, and a Red Cross shelter has been set up. A high fire danger also remains in effect for the area until at least tomorrow. Smoke from that fire is affecting air quality as far south as Los Angeles. And extreme heat across the country helping those wildfires in California. It's breaking records in the Southwest and spreading across the country. In Arizona, 25-year-old Anthony Quatella died, and his friend was hospitalized after they ran out of water hiking a trail in the extreme heat. The homeless, the elderly, even pets, all being given special attention amidst warnings that the heat can be a killer. Cooling stations are now open there.
We don't have earthquakes, tornadoes, or hurricanes, but the heat is our disaster.
Even airlines are issuing warnings about the high temperatures, warning that 120-degree air could cause problems for planes, even delays, because the air at that temperature is just so thin. How about that? That's just...
Yeah, I can't get the thrust.
I can't imagine 120 degrees. I mean, it's like opening an oven door.
I can't either. The hottest I've ever been in is 110 in the desert Southwest.
Yeah.
And it was ridiculous. It was just ridiculous. I mean, we went through gallons of water each day, so I can't imagine running out of water in that kind of heat. It's just unbelievable. We have around here some delightful weather, I have to say, for this time of year. You know, what with it being the first day of summer and everything, although it's felt like summer for quite some time. The sun rose over Lakewood Ranch webcam, showing a little bit of cloud cover around, but not much in the way of rainfall. We had a few sprinkles here and there, but you know, for the most part, we were rain-free over most 95% of the viewing area. And this afternoon, I think all of those showers are going to just basically fall apart, and we'll be left with a lot of sunshine around here. Titan radar not picking up much in the way of rainfall currently across the region. We have a daytime high that'll probably top out, well, 90 might be optimistic, but certainly in the upper 80s. We'll see, maybe 90. And the daytime high temperature will feature lower relative humidity that'll make it feel very comfortable. Sunset tonight should be lovely. Tomorrow morning, even cooler temperatures than we saw this morning. As far as the weather goes over the next couple of days, well, rain showers are back in the forecast. We'll tell you when in just a moment. Scott.
All right, John, thank you. An American man says he's found more possible plane pieces from Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 in Madagascar. Earlier this month, Blaine Gibson told CNN he found 3 pieces of probable plane debris in that same location. Gibson says he also discovered what could be personal effects, including phone cases and a backpack, also a purse. The plane disappeared more than 2 years ago in the Indian Ocean, and efforts to find the main wreckage have failed so far. Meanwhile, a plane in Houston missed its target, landing on the roof of a Macy's distribution center instead of at an airport. The plane was approaching Hobby Airport about 4 miles away when it disappeared from the air traffic control radar. It was found an hour later on the roof. The pilot did survive the landing and was alert and conscious when emergency responders arrived there on the scene. A big shakeup in Donald Trump's presidential campaign today. Trump's campaign manager, Corey Lewandowski, is out, following a long stretch marked by missteps and infighting in the campaign. Trump spokeswoman Hope Hicks says Lewandowski will no longer be working with the campaign. Lewandowski had been by Trump's side since the beginning of his unlikely rise to the presumptive GOP nominee. This move came as Trump faces continued deep resistance from many quarters of his party, concerned by his contentious and controversial statements. In consumer news, if you're a Ticketmaster customer, you may want to check out your account. You may have a free ticket or two to an upcoming event. Millions of customers are getting free vouchers thanks to a 13-year-old lawsuit. The suit claimed Ticketmaster was charging excessive and deceptive fees. The lawsuit was settled in April, and now the company will issue $45 million worth of cash, discounts, and tickets to U.S. customers who made purchases on its website between October of '99 and February of 2013. A ticket code will show up in a customer account, which can be redeemed for 2 general admission tickets to selected events. Maybe some tickets to see Judy Gallagher's favorite rock star, Bruce Springsteen. We'll have to see. Let's get back to the kitchen now, Judy.
Scott, you got me excited because I have 4 more Springsteen concerts coming up later this summer. So I've taken the tenderloin out of the oven and it's resting with aluminum foil on it. Remember, I put it in the recipe. You want to take this out when you're first cooking it in its raw state. Let it sit in the counter for an hour to get up to room temperature if it's about 4 to 5 pounds. Now back to the roasted tomatoes. I've taken the juice on the pan from the roasted tomatoes. Remember, we took the marinated artichoke heart, we took that dressing to put into our vinaigrette. I'm going to do a shot of sherry vinegar only because I like that bite of sherry vinegar, and then I'm going to add, whoops, looks like we had a camera fall down there. We're going to add a little red wine vinegar, again, salt and pepper, and we're going to blend this. And so we're making this beautiful roasted tomato dressing, okay? Now we're going to just blend that up, and avoiding any more big bumps, I'll just put this on when we're on commercial break, okay? But we'll blend that. If we need a little more oil, we can add a little more oil, and then 1 shot of Worcestershire sauce just to really pop it. Let's talk about the Point Reeves blue cheese. You want to use a really good blue cheese. I mean, here we are, we're using tenderloin. We've really taken some time to use some good tenderloin, which is more expensive. So we want to use a quality blue cheese that's going to work as well. The tenderloin, again, is resting. It's looking really good. So now what we're going to do to wilt the spinach, we're simply going to add the burst of the tomatoes and the roasted mushrooms that I have, and we'll sprinkle that around, and that's, like I said, going to begin to wilt the lettuce. Now, one thing I wanted to show you, over at Yoder's Produce Market, which I go to a lot, they now have for the first time an organic section. So if you prefer, if you want to mix the baby arugula or baby kale in with the spinach, but they're going to continue to expand it. So each week, look for some more, and it's inside in that refrigerator section. Whereas the outside, they have the beautiful tomatoes that we use. And these are the tomatoes that come from Michigan this time of year, but they're big, they're beefy, and they're very flavorful. So the spinach is going to start to wilt. We have the gorgeous blue cheese ready to go. And of course, we have to have some Bavarian bread that I picked up at Yoder's as well that's going to go along for this great salad. This size salad is going to feed 2 people. So we're going to blend up our vinaigrette, slice the tenderloin, and somehow I think that John and Scott are going to really love this meal. Come back, it's tenderloin spinach salad in just a few minutes.
At 6:30, ABC brings you news from around the world, and now ABC 7 brings you more in-depth coverage of the stories making news on the Suncoast. Join your Suncoast news team for the all-new ABC 7 News 7.
ABC 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you weeknights at 5.
Batteries Plus bulbs keep stacks of batteries for cars, cell phones, watches, plus light bulbs for lamps, can lights, and appliances right on hand. Did I mention we also repair smartphones? Batteries Plus bulbs. Trust the plus. Visit Batteries Plus bulbs today.
At Sunset Subaru in Sarasota, it's all about getting more for your money. More years, more miles, more 2016 IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus winners than any other brand. Stop by to see our new state-of-the-art showroom today, and you can lease the most award-winning small SUV on the planet, a new 2016 Subaru Forester, for just $229 a month. Complimentary maintenance included at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Did you know? Many dogs are returned to shelters simply because they lack obedience. Contact Canine Corral about various training programs. We train dogs and their owners. Canine Corral, where the love is.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Current air temperature is 82 degrees, a nice 82 degrees, because the dew point value coming in at 67 is so low for this time of year. It feels comfortable. And yes, we have a little bit of cloud cover from time to time, but we also have plenty of sunshine out there. And I think it's safe to say our temperatures will at least be in the upper 80s this afternoon, but the low relative humidity will make it feel pretty comfortable. East wind coming in breezy at about 12 miles per hour currently, northeast wind, and that'll be the case throughout the afternoon. In fact, it'll probably even pick up just a little bit. 83 Wauchula, Arcadia, Myakka, Bradenton Parish comes in at 84. Lakewood Ranch at 83 too. 84 degrees in Venice, 83 in Inglewood, 84 in Punta Gorda, 83 in Punta Gorda, 84 in Northport, and 81. Longboat Key. Across the nation, pretty quiet conditions for the most part. That big ridge of high pressure providing that really warm temperature problem back to the west, and it extends all the way to the east coast really, and then noses down toward the state of Florida. We do have a tropical storm down toward Mexico headed away from the state of Florida. Not an issue for us. We have a frontal boundary down to the south through the Florida Straits, producing some rain showers there, and an upshower flow causing some showers and even a thunderstorm or two in around the Louisiana Delta. Now we have this strong easterly wind flow, or northeasterly wind flow, and it is picking up a little bit of moisture, slinging it back in the form of a few scattered showers along the east coast and the southern tip of the state too. One or two of them made it into our area earlier on, but they're really in the process of dying out. I don't see much chance of rainfall for the remainder of the afternoon. I think we're going to have a lot more sunshine than anything else. Near tropics look good. Near Atlantic is fine. Caribbean is fine. The near parts of the Gulf of Mexico look fine, except for this trough of low pressure that extends back to the low pressure region. That's the front that moved through and brought us this change in our weather. We do have a tropical storm, and it continues to chug toward
Areas of Mexico, tropical storm Danielle moving due west at about 7 miles per hour. This one's going to be a rainmaker, going to potentially create some flash flood problems in some of the mountain passes of Mexico. Could see perhaps 10, 12-inch rainfalls there. We know how that goes. And those showers will continue on through today, through tomorrow, maybe even the day after as it slowly moves inland and dissipates. Again, not a player in our weather. High pressure is for us, and it will stay firmly in place over the next several days. Really, the only change that we get is when that high moves from where it is now into the Atlantic, and that won't happen until weeks in. Once that happens, our winds will shift, and we'll start to pump a little bit more moisture back in here, increasing our rain chances once again. So lower relative humidity leading to an absolutely gorgeous evening tonight, I think, and a very nice, coolish, kind of crisp morning tomorrow for this time of year. Breezy northeast wind continues, and I don't see much rain chance in the forecast with this dry air sinking southward such as it is. You know, we got that chance of a little bit of a sprinkle for the next half hour or so in Hardee and DeSoto County, but that's it. Otherwise, nice day with breezy winds northeast at about 10 to 15, bringing you a moderate chop with 2 to 3 foot seas. Couple tides, a 12:15 high tide about now. Low tide comes at just before the 9 o'clock hour at 8:53, and then another high tide after midnight at 3:14. And the official Suncoast forecast keeps us nice for several days with slowly increasing humidity. I think by the time we get to week's end, we'll start talking about rainfall chances again. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. The recent events in Orlando causing a spike in the attendance at self-defense classes here on the Suncoast. ABC 7's Adam Cellini has more.
After tragedy struck so close to home, people seem to be reacting in two ways. Some calling for stricter gun laws, while others taking their lives and self-defense into their own hands. When you step into John Brockhoff's Krav Maga self-defense class, prepare for the worst.
This is a great opportunity for the girls, if they're working with the guys, to really understand what it's like to be tossed around a little bit.
My goal is not to develop street fighters or fighters. My goal is to develop survivors, and that begins long before the fight.
Hebrew for combat contact, Brockhoff says Krav Maga is perfect for any urban threat, which is why classes fill up after tragedies like Orlando.
There are going to be people that run, there are going to be people that stay and provide first aid, and then there's going to be a small group of people that are going to stay and fight. And what I'm developing here is a group of people that are going to stay and fight.
Eric Wilkerson signed up in November, desperate to equip himself for any situation.
These days it can happen anywhere. So you always have to be prepared, know what to do. Me, especially working at a school and just being out and about in society today.
Others plan to fight firearms with firearms, especially in the LGBT community.
Obviously, because we were targeted, definitely targeted in this.
Gun owner Cindy Barnes has been fielding several questions from friends in her local group, Sarasota Pride.
I got mine after Aurora because I felt like, you know, we're not improving, we're going the other direction, and I want to be protected.
National LGBT gun group Pink Pistols has reportedly doubled its membership since Sunday, and dozens more like Sarasota gun shop owner Mike Young are applying to start their own local chapters.
And Sunday happened, and I'm like, we got to do it now. Right now, we got to do it, you know, because I'm tired of people being defenseless.
And if we can have more people prepared and ready for whatever happens, the world's safer.
The universal theme across all this self-defense training is the hope that you'll never have to use it. In Bradenton, Adam Cellini, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Adam, thank you. A World War II veteran from the Suncoast can now check off a big item off her bucket list. 93-year-old Wendy Hobson has always wanted to ride a motorcycle. The Brookdale Sarasota Central Senior Living Community and AmVets riders teamed up to grant that wish. She was aware that a few friends might be taking her for a ride, but had no idea that more than 50 motorcyclists and veterans would show up to surprise her.
We're very honored and excited to be able to not only help participate in granting Wendy her bucket list wish, but also honoring her legacy as a great World War II veteran as well, who served our country so admirably.
This is the first time the two groups have come together to grant a wish for a veteran, and we hope they can do it again soon. Entertainment news is next. Stay with us.
At 6:30, ABC brings you news from around the world, and now ABC 7 brings you more in-depth coverage of the stories making news on the Suncoast. Join your Suncoast News team for the all-new ABC 7 News at 7.
The all-new official Suncoast forecast, only on ABC 7.
Pomero Shop Furniture. After 66 years in Sarasota, we're still the leader in hard-to-find and custom-made furniture. We have literally thousands of fabrics and patterns to choose from, and our free in-home design consultation will help you create rooms in your home specific to your unique style. Our inventory changes daily, so come in today to see what's new. Plus, anything in our showroom can be part of your home the very next day. Pomero Shop Furniture, now with 3 locations.
Just because someone grows older, does that mean they have to grow apart from their friends or from the things they love to do? With Right at Home, it doesn't. Right at Home's professional team thoughtfully selects caregivers to help with personal care, housekeeping, meals, and most of all, staying engaged in life.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Are you ready to go?
Oh, I sure am.
We can provide the right care right at home.
I'm Dale Mast, and we're celebrating 40 years on the west coast of Florida.
It's our 40th anniversary, and it's time for a celebration, the Culligan Hydration Celebration. For a limited time, celebrate by taking $250 off any Culligan home system. That's $250 off Culligan water softener systems, drinking water systems, or whole house water filters. Help us celebrate our 40th anniversary, and remember,
for better water, pure and simple, call today and say, "Hey, Culligan man."
When you don't know who you are, you can be anyone you want to be. You're coming with me.
Ooh, where are we going?
To the most wondrous place in the world.
Go! The Tangleviews Traveling Circus is here!
This isn't a fairy story. People don't always live happily ever after. But we will. I'm Hetty Feather, and this is my story.
This Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix Minute is brought to you by Sarasota Ford.
The Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix offers 2 full days of racing just off Lido. Aquacross racing returns with more than 80 personal watercraft teams, along with 10 superstock boats, averaging 70 miles an hour. Then more than 30 powerboats take to the water many topping speeds of 100. And don't miss the Boats on Main block party and meet and greet Who's in the Driver's Seat, events so you can meet the racers up close and personal.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford because Sarasota Ford guarantees you our lowest price on every new Ford every day. Save on America's best-selling truck, 39 years running, the Ford F-150. Fusions, Escapes, over 800 vehicles on site or online, all on sale. Buy with 0% for 60 months. And now, get up to 2,000 trade assistance. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
There you go, John.
I don't know what you can say. You did it up right today, Judy.
Well, it's
wow.
my happy Father's Day
Man.
to you and Scott. I thought a nice roasted tomato vinaigrette, right? Have that delicious, easy roast tenderloin, and I got it on sale. Blistered tomatoes, threw in some mushrooms and roasted them. Then you have that Point Reeves blue cheese, which is really tangy, so I think it goes well with the tomato vinaigrette.
Yeah, and the artichoke hearts is fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. So you get all those different textures and pops of a bite of flavor. So I thought.
And that beef is about the most tender thing I've ever put in my mouth. That's
oh yeah, and seriously, John, I bought a 10-pound tenderloin at Fresh Market for $71, but I have to show Scott doesn't like vegetables too much, so this is what we call the Scott Dennis
dinner. That's right. It's fun. The recipe on our website, mysuncoast.com. You'll want to get. It's awfully tasty. Scott, it's waiting for you over here. Come on, buddy.
All right, I'll hurry up and read. Thank you, guys. Singer Christina Aguilera is showing her support for the victims of the Orlando shooting. She just released a new single called Change. The song is dedicated to the victims and their families, and 100% of the proceeds from U.S. download sales of the song between now and September 14th will all be donated to the National Compassion Fund. At the box office over the weekend, Finding Dory made some big waves. The Pixar sequel brought in $136 million in the U.S. That makes it the highest-grossing animated debut of all time and the second largest June opening. In a very distant second place was Central Intelligence with $34 million. And bringing up third place, Conjuring 2 with $15 million. The Chewbacca mom has a new toy to play with after Hasbro unveiled a custom action figure bearing her likeness. Candace Payne's wildly popular video of her hysterically laughing while wearing Hasbro's toy Chewbacca mask has gained more than 157 million views on Facebook. She was invited to the toy maker's Rhode Island headquarters last week and presented with an action figure with her head on Chewbacca's body. It comes complete with a removable mini Chewbacca mask. Entertainment Weekly reports the doll spouts survival of Payne's catchphrases from the Facebook video, including, "I am such a happy Chewbacca." And remember Donald Gould? Well, he's reunited with the artist whose piano made him famous to welcome a close replica. Twice as Nice, a consignment store in downtown Sarasota, donated the piano for local artist Victoria Bulava to beautify a second time. The theme? A duplication of the one Gould stumbled upon last year along Main Street in Sarasota. The pair have met a few times since and took time to reflect on the journey Saturday morning.
I'm really proud it was mine, and it was really nice that, you know, I could be a part of somebody's dramatic life change.
She's fun to hang out with, you know. We've become pretty good friends, you know, this past year.
Gould says his music career has been going really well. He recently released his first single. It's a cover of the Styx hit, "Come Sail Away." Such an unbelievable story.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And bravo to him for rising up to the challenge and changing his life and being a mentor now for others. And boy, I remember Styx quite well back in my college days.
I still love that music, yeah. Get out there and enjoy a beautiful day, right?
Gorgeous, low humidity. Bob has more at 5.
See you then.